parsley goes in the center with the fish all around it, makes a very appetizing dish. Did you ever try to slice onions with a knife? You know how you get one thick slice and one thin slice? Run the knife through the center. That will separate each slice individual. Almost like magic, there is every slice cut exactly the same thickness and the same size. Wouldn't you like to have a set like this in your kitchen? Why, of course you would. Now don't forget, attend this theater every week and receive this 12-piece fascinating... Ladies and gentlemen, the management of this theater takes great pleasure in making this announcement. To each lady attending this theater each week will receive absolutely free a fascinating 12-piece kitchen cutlery set, one piece each time. It is really interesting and amazing to know how you can prepare your meals in an appetizing and pleasing manner. There's an old saying, and a true one, that what is pleasing to the eye is bound to be pleasing to the appetite. I'm going to demonstrate this set to you, and I want you to watch it very closely. The first cutter that I'm going to show you, now this first one is known as the Parisian cutter. Wind it through the potato like a corkscrew. When the cutter appears on the opposite side, pull the cutter out. Place the handle in the center and twist it out. This is what they call a French curl. When you fry these, they come out like donuts, nice and brown. Serve them with your steaks or pot roast them. Unwind it, there's two curls out of the one potato. Tomorrow morning for breakfast, wind a little strip of bacon around the potato and serve them with bacon and eggs. They're delicious. Different colored vegetables, wind them together and you get the two colors. Here's a little trick cut. Split the curl halfway through the center. If you're making a shrimp salad and you happen to run short of shrimp, mix these in with the regular shrimp. On my word, you couldn't tell the difference until you start to eat them. Now the rest of the potato, you stuff it. We'll call this a little chicken. We'll call this here some hamburger. You might have a little meat that's been laying in the ice box for a few days. Chop the meat up fine, season it highly, stuff it into the center of the potato and bake them with the skins on. When they're done, cut them in two. Serve them on the half shell just like that. Serve them in slices when company calls. The more company you have, the thinner you cut the slices. If your mother-in-law calls, give her a beak piece. Just pull the blade towards you like this. If you want the slices thicker than this, open the blade, there's a thick slice. Shoestrings for your Friday fish dinner, cut them down like this. Chop them up for your vegetable soup. What this knife is really intended for is for cutting the cabbage. You know the old-fashioned board, how you rip and tear, sometimes nipping the ends off your fingers. Lay it flat and pull it lightly towards you over the cabbage. The weight of the knife across the cabbage is all that's necessary. Why, ladies, when you get slaw cut as fine as this, you'll certainly appreciate eating it. The crowning feature of the set is the cutter that I'm going to show you now. This is known as the Champion Vegetable Mincing Knife and Noodle Cutter. Now, when you want to make some real fine noodles at home, you roll the dough out like this. Dip this into a little flour so it doesn't stick to the dough, and as you roll it over the dough, that will cut the noodles in long strips, 10 at a time. Did you ever try to chop up a little nuts for cake? Why, I've seen ladies chop nuts and the nuts land up on the ceiling. Sometimes you chop the ends off your fingers. When you want to chop up a little nuts for cake, cooked meat, clams for chowder, soup greens to throw into your soup, making a little pepper or chicken hash is just a few strokes rolling it up and down. Why, here is without a doubt the meanest thing in the world to cut parsley. Put that in a grinder, you really grind it too fine. This machine, instead of crushing the parsley, cuts it quick, clean, and dry, leaving every bit of the juice and every bit of the flavor. Now, to clean this machine, you press the button. Rinse it out in a little water. When you're through using it, hang it up and let it dry. Here's one here that every lady should have in her home, known as the Parisian scoop. You lay it flat, once to the right, once to the left. When you scoop them out, you'll get a perfect round little ball. You can pot roast these, cut them out of cheese or cut them out of butter. When you're serving a fruit cocktail in the summertime, take your fresh cantaloupe, scoop them out like this, mix them with apples, pears, and watermelons, makes a delicious fruit cocktail served with a little cracked ice like you see here. But here is a tool, ladies, if you ever do get it, you'll thank the day you've seen this demonstration. When you press, it locks. It's like a pair of human hands. Reach in the oven and take the biscuits out of the oven. Ever take the hot potatoes out of the oven and burn yourself on the elbow? A roast chicken out of the oven, a piece of meat out of the pot, spinach, asparagus out of the water. Why, around canning season, when you're preserving the fruits, to take the hot fruit jars out of the water like that, that machine is worth dollars to you. And here's another one that I really know you'll enjoy having in your kitchen, known as the safety grater. No doubt you're familiar with the old-fashioned grater. I've seen ladies take a grater and rip the knuckles off. When you want to grate up potatoes for delicious potato pancakes, this has a smooth, flat edge, impossible to cut yourself. Just like you were washing clothes, you rub it up and down, and you really grate your vegetables real fine, retaining all the flavors and all the juices. Breadcrumbs for when you're serving veal cutlets or anything like that. You want a little breadcrumbs to fry your fish in? Why, there's the greatest proposition in the world. Use that for coconut, cheese, or horseradish. When you're through with it, just hit it down like that. That knocks all the food out. Rinse it out in a little water and hang it up and let it dry. Now, here is a stone made of carborundum and sapphire quartz, which is made purposely to keep these knives sharp. When they get dull, a few strokes over the edge like this, and you can put a keen cutting edge on it. If you have a dull knife or a dull pair of scissors, an old sickle or a scythe, a lawnmower, cleaver, an axe, there's a tool that will really put an edge on the knife so the knife will really cut for you. I just want to give you an idea of how sharp that knife really is when you sharpen it with that stone. Ladies, I've seen some of you try to open up cans. Now, there's a can of Campbell's baked beans. I've seen ladies open up a can and you poke a hole in it, go around the top, hippity-hop, and your finger slips. Let me show you a real proposition. Look, lay it on the can, lift up the safety, and turn the key. That locks itself on the can. No harder than you were winding up your watch. Wind up the key and that'll cut the top off of the can slick and smooth. Notice how the end raises itself up in the air so you can lift the lid off, giving you a clean, smooth edge. Now that can be used for sardine cans, square cans or round cans, exactly the same way. Now this tool here, my dear friends, needs no introduction. This will save you on an average of $20 to $30 every year you use it as a peeling knife. Here's a grater for cheese, coconut, or horseradish, a fish scaler for scaling your fish, and when you're coring your apple, it's just a slight twist of the wrist, and there's the apple core. There's one more tool that I want you to see, and I want you to watch this one very closely. Many a times when you're baking a pie, you have a pudding in the oven. I've seen ladies wrap a towel around your hand, and many a times you burn your fingers. Hook this onto the pot like this and lift the hot pots off the top of the stove. You've got a pie pan in the oven? Get your hold of the pie pan like this. Why, you couldn't get it off with a team of horses. This will positively lift 100 pounds. There's a pail of water weighs 50 or 60 pounds. That's the way you pick it up. But there's one more tool. I'll be all through and I'll be finished. Oh, now the next tool and the last one is what they call the Sarah Bernhardt cutter. This was invented by the head chef of the Imperial Hotel in the city of Berlin, Germany. You place the screw into the center of the vegetable. Twist the vegetable until the threads catch a hold, then you wind this up. You keep winding until you utilize the whole potato. The faster you turn, the quicker the slices. Why, ladies, here's a machine for slicing onions. The first onion that you slice with this cutter, you'll bless the day you've got a hold of it. Every slice cut exactly the same thickness. Every slice cut the same size. In making what they call a rosette, pull the vegetable out like this. Pin the ends together with a toothpick. Drop that potato into the hot fat and fry it. That will come out like a donut, golden brown. If you're serving a nice fish dinner, a little parsley goes in the center with the fish all around it, makes a very appetizing dish. Did you ever try to slice onions with a knife? You know how you get one thick slice and one thin slice? Run the knife through the center. That will separate each slice individual. Almost like magic, there is every slice cut exactly the same thickness and the same size. Wouldn't you like to have a set like this in your kitchen? Why, of course you would. Now don't forget, attend this theater every week and receive this 12-piece fascinating... Ladies and gentlemen, the management of this theater takes great pleasure in making this announcement. To each lady attending this theater each week, will receive absolutely free a fascinating 12-piece kitchen cutlery set, one piece each time. It is really interesting and amazing to know how you can prepare your meals in an appetizing and pleasing manner. There's an old saying, and a true one, that what is pleasing to the eye is bound to be pleasing to the appetite. I'm going to demonstrate this set to you, and I want you to watch it very closely. The first cutter that I'm going to show you, now this first one is known as the Parisian cutter. Wind it through the potato like a corkscrew. When the cutter appears on the opposite side, pull the cutter out. Place the handle in the center and twist it out. This is what they call a French curl. When you fry these, they come out like donuts, nice and brown. Serve them with your steaks or pot roast them. Unwind it, there's two curls out of the one potato. Tomorrow morning for breakfast, wind a little strip of bacon around the potato and serve them with bacon and eggs. They're delicious. different colored vegetables, wind them together, and you get the two colors. Here's a little trick cut. Split the curl halfway through the center. If you're making a shrimp salad and you happen to run short of
Oh hey, it helps if I unmute the mic, doesn't it? Welcome in everyone, how are we doing tonight? Now that I have the mic unmuted, we're doing a good luck stream tonight. Happy New Year everyone. Going to be doing beans, which I have a hock from the pig that I slaughtered earlier this year that's been frozen. We're going to be using that for flavoring our beans. I've got beans back here that I started earlier and did the boil method to do a quick soak instead of, I didn't get them soaking last night. So, did the quick, you can bring them up to a boil with about 3 times as much water. And then you can let them sit for an hour, which I've now done. And we'll strain those off and add those into the party a bit later. Hey Becca, how you doing tonight? Quick toss this bag out in the trash, so I'll be right back. So we're doing beans, we're doing rice, we're doing cornbread. I'm going to do some spinach with all of this. So all good symbols for good luck in the new year. The beans, or many people do black-eyed peas. I was saying earlier that I couldn't find them on last minute. And so I'm doing other beans, which beans in general are considered lucky. Additionally, greens are green, so they're supposed to help with wealth. Corn, gold. And, let's see, rice. Rice is lucky as well. So, that's all what we're doing tonight. Oh, wow, I didn't update my dinner command. Let me quick fix that. Well, it's going to take me a moment to... Yeah. I thought I had updated that. There, that should be better. Also gonna get my earbud working here. Hopefully. And we can start some music up. Nice, my stream alert fired for Discord nicely. Music started. There we go. Now I can hear everything. Hopefully I didn't miss any alerts there. Nope, I think we're up to date. Gonna need this later. let's just set you off to the side here. So I'm going to start this simmering. Might as well hit that with a bit of salt. Strain the beans so that they're ready to use whenever. They don't need to be staying in hot water anymore since we're going to boil them a bit later. But these are, I believe these are European soldier beans, which have a brown patch to them. I think it's a reference to a past military uniform. Oh, appreciate that, Buddha Butter. Welcome in. Thank you, guys. Continuing to fill that pot there to help defrost our stock. So I'm going to get started with the cornbread here next, I think, which is going to yeah. Cornbread first. It's been sort of cool here tonight, lately. So, nice being having the oven on. Probably helps the space heater a little bit. I'm going to start with butter, which I'm going to have to melt some. And give this a quick melt in the microwave. Throw the last of the milk in here. I don't think that's quite a cup, which is what the recipe calls for. Fissure. It's 2 whole eggs. Yes. Okay, we're gonna mix this with our dry ingredients, but I'm gonna cheat with that a little bit. I'm actually gonna add some of what the dry ingredients would be in with the wet here, including the salt and the sugar. Because I think being in the liquid is going to distribute them much better. And it's about right with the sugar. It's supposed to be a quarter cup. Battle. To battle. The battle is working again. I actually ran the last one to sort of start the stream off. I think we got this one. Victory. Congrats, Entropy, with the scrolls. Me with the most kills and no assists. That's weird. Scrolls in gold. I'll take it. Let's see, which is the better path here? You got silver chest, gold chest, silver chest, purple chest. Yeah, I'm liking this better. I'm gonna start my tank up there. Gonna need a couple people. Well, I think we maybe should mass over here, because I don't think we're gonna be able to cross these easily. I don't know. I haven't done this. I haven't done much in Retrolandia, which is a new theme right now, but I think this will at least give us a good path to these 4. Maybe these 2 afterward. This guy just may have to find us. Sorry guys. I thought I pushed the button. Anyways, I said all that without you guys seeing it there. I think maybe this gives us a chance to go up over these without hitting these. And this guy will probably find us. And these will leave for like last. In the cornbread so far, we got salt, sugar, mostly melted butter, which is what the little chunks there are mostly. We have milk and 2 eggs. On the stove back there, I have a hawk from the pig I slaughtered here on stream in June. And That's going to be going with the beans in the back of the stove. And we'll put some spinach with that a little bit later. And we'll do some rice up as well. But working on the cornbread for right now. So this is going to be our wet ingredients. Did not slaughter. I bought a whole pig. Well, I bought 2 halves without the head or offal. I still got the kidneys, but I then broke that all down. Butchered it, yes. Second bowl for flour, baking powder, baking soda, I believe. Yeah, I doubt I could get away with actual slaughter on stream. Maybe. I mean, it's not that much. Well, so much of it is how much people care about it. I mean, we have so many people watching Sport Fisherman on Twitch. It's not that different. Yeah, that too. And I was actually in another stream earlier today that was watching a video about kids just like fishing. I forget what it was, shrimp, prawns, something along that line. It was just sort of like a foreign thing where the kids were paying money for hooks and you could only maybe sometimes pull one up with a hook, and they then cooked them for them and gave them back to them. So they were talking about, you know, a lot of people don't realize where their food is really coming from, and they don't have, I think, as much appreciation as they should for where it is coming from. Yeah, so we'll leave it with that. We're going to do 1 cup of flour. Well, there's that, and there's the whole people don't care about the chicken other than the chicken breast or their favorite cut on the bird, or people squirmish at offal, which the only real reason that I didn't take the offal with the pig was I wasn't going to be able to utilize it quick enough to make it worthwhile. I'm one dude living alone, and it is 6 months here basically, and it's in the freezer and we're working on the last of it. Cup of flour. Cup of cornmeal. Yep, it's a pork hock. And let's throw the baking powder and baking soda through the sieve too. Got a new thing of baking powder. It's always depressing when you open a package and it's half empty. Yes. Tablespoon. And baking soda. I have the pork just simmering with water right now. I'm defrosting a package of stock that I made that I'll be adding here a little bit later. No soda? I thought there was some soda in this. It's not gonna hurt. Get that double leavening action. Strainer was still a little damp from when I cleaned it earlier. I think I'm going to put this in a second bag here. I don't know if I trust this molded Ziploc. Nah, that's not going to work. You do want a pretty fine cornmeal for cornbread, but it's a texture thing too. Like I do plan on using coarser cornmeal, which I also have around here, and I'll use that actually for dusting the pan, like the brownies, which I still have most of. That's the problem with making cinnamon rolls and brownies at the same time. You gotta pick one. Hey Suki, Happy New Year's. I'm gonna dust the cast iron with the thicker cornmeal so that gets a nice crust on it. So we got all of our dry ingredients. Let's add in our wet ingredients here. Get off of there. And we're just gonna mix to combine. Or fold to combine. We don't want to work that gluten too much. And actually, before I even deal with that, I am going to butter and cornmeal my pan here. Alright. And since I live alone, no one's going to complain about me putting this butter back in here with the nasty top to it from, we'll call it the cast iron hay. I can just imagine someone, significant other, just going nuts about that being put back there looking dirty and nasty. So I'm just adding a little bit extra than I need on the bottom there in hopes of coating the sides. And as you can see there, that's a little bit thicker of a grind. Just sort of using the butter as our glue here. Alright, set this off to the side. Finish mixing our mixture here. I'm actually okay with the little clumps of butter. Some people may not like that so much, but I assume it's going to give me some nice bubbling action. Will just help with our leavening even more, making it even lighter. We just want to make sure it gets all sort of to that all moist flour level. Alright, now that's gonna go in the pan. Leveling it out a little bit and trying to make sure it gets a nice full coat on the pan. Yeah, you don't have to be hugely... The major thing that you're doing there is you're making sure that the flour is all moistened, or at least not clumped up in there. I don't have my oven on yet. At least I don't think I do. Let's see what temp we want here. Oh, pretty high heat. And quick. So, we're doing 425 here. Turn the fan on. I'm going to do a little bit of maintenance here. Clean up a couple of bowls. Add our pork stock in with our hock, now that that's mostly at least half defrosted there. There's still a nice chunk of stock ice in there, but 24 ounces of pork stock there. And speaking of that, Becca, I'm actually going to get some butter out for that. Because that sounds good. We'll just use the rest of that stick that I used to butter the pan there. Oof. Yeah, I dropped one of mine into the oven the other day. I think I might finally have the right setup of top and bottom. The Samsung earbuds that I have, they have 3 different sizes for both an outer ring, which locks into the ear, and the inner one. But it's still working. I only wear one of them because here in the kitchen, I want to hear what's going on in real time, not what's echoed a couple seconds behind and from the microphone there. So we got our chicken stock available here too. I don't want to drip on our cornbread, but set that aside for our rice here a little bit later. I'm waiting to put the beans in there because I don't think they're going to have to take forever to cook. I think they're only going to take about an hour. How are we looking on our Stream Raiders battle here? Alright. You got 5 players on the field. Okay, so that's all set. And that's set. We just gotta wait on the oven for that. We'll throw that back here. And continue with cleanup here a little bit. How is everyone tonight? What's new? What's happening? Anyone have their own special New Year's Eve or New Year's Day traditions as far as dinner? What did you guys all eat last night? Try to keep the banging a little bit to a minimum here when I'm streaming, but a little bit's inevitable. Pork roast. Nice. Oh, we're getting all sorts of smoke out of our oven tonight. Sorry, that's gonna kill a little bit of the audio there. Does it look smoky to you? Looks smoky to me. Looks real smoky on the 166 of 2020. Let me fix that. I thought I had fixed all of that. just smoking a little bit. What happened there is the cinnamon rolls last night overflowed their pan a little bit, and I didn't put a pan underneath them. And so we got a little bit of sugar there on the bottom of the oven right now we're going to burn through. So dinner is now officially smoked. We're going to open the door here actually too. Very thankful for having a door that I can close to get that smoke alarm separate from this. Actually going to open this window here too. Come on, oven. You can burn through that. Now it seems to be cleaning up a little bit. Need some onion for our spinach here, so let's cut some onion while we're waiting. Yeah, let's use the red guy tonight. Barbecue burger and veggie saute. Dinner tonight is chicken curry and rice with mixed veggies and lemon. Nice. Yep, lemon's a good one too. My personal preference has always been towards limes. And I own a dwarf Meyer lemon tree, but the limes, generally you don't get seeds, and the flavor, if you're mixing them in with a lot of things, they're a little bit more mellow. So close the doors here. We still got this smoking pretty good though. How are we doing this? We can slice it. Take out the heel, root. Ah, jeez. Okay, I'm opening that door back up again. So tonight is all the good luck foods. Tomorrow night we're going to do... I've got some frozen shrimp. I'm going to take those and devein them and make a quick pasta. We'll do a pepper sauce. The beep was the oven coming to temp. Still just smoking away. Okay, Google. Turn lights yellow. There, that should help. Wish I had a good method of I'm gonna toss that clove out. That isn't looking very healthy. Man, I've been having bad luck with getting good garlic lately. I know it's absolutely not the right time of year. It's all got to be properly cured in order to be decent this time of year, but... yeah, I sort of wish I could figure out a way to... I'm probably could figure out a way now that I discovered something new in technology world, but yeah, I don't have anything set for dealing with the yellow lights. Okay, Google. Lights candlelight. Which is my normal light color. Sort of matches the yellow from the under counter lighting. Battle! Nine units versus 7 enemies. With the mute icon, Suki. My mute icon on my Stream Deck is a very convoluted operation, and so if it doesn't fire right, the computer messes it up somehow or something like that. It gets all split up, and so I have to go through and manually fix everything. So if you've noticed some of them wrong, please shout it out to me. Victory. Entropy and DJ whatever. The golden scrolls. Entropy with the assists and the kills. Oh hey, 3 in a row here. We're giving me goodies. Alright. I don't see any enemies out there already. Oh, was that one there? Anyways, it says they're going to show up over time. Yeah, that one's got a blemish on it too. And I'm actually going to get another clove now, since I've lost 1.5 of them already. Oh, I didn't check the title. Let me do that here. I did change that to 166. Thank you for pointing that out. There, that should be fixed now. Actually, I was sort of debating stopping that. I was sort of doing the count thing to so that I have been regularly streaming after the whole mixer thing. No, I'll probably try and put a plate over the top of it and do just a nice flip once it's cooled down a bit. But speaking of that, the oven's warm, so let's throw that in there. It's not really smoking anymore. So that's going to need about 10 minutes here. I'm also just waiting for the night here when Entropy makes me make defrost and make bacon instead of dinner too. And oh, Suki. I think onion and garlic would be a wonderful flavor for a breath mint. Making up for my bad advice that I didn't give you earlier. Hopefully you're lurking around. I forgot about that last stream. I spaced on it twice, actually. You were supposed to fall when I moved over there, not stick to the blade. now that this is all up to temp and been hanging out for a little while, let's add in our heirloom European soldier beans. And that was originally about 8 ounces of beans, maybe slightly over 8 ounces of beans, dried, that I boiled with water, about 3 times as much water by weight, for an hour. Or I boiled them, and then I let them sit in the water for, actually it's probably closer to an hour and a half to 2 hours, but you're supposed to boil them and let them sit in water for an hour, strain the water, and then you can boil them in whatever pot liquor you want to use. So I showed those a little bit earlier, but they're white bean with a sort of brown spotting to them, which pretty similar to what you traditionally, which black-eyed pea is. At least the one named as much as far as being lucky. They do basically just say all legumes are lucky on the first, but so I'm going to do a couple minute cleanup here. I'm going to give you guys an AFK slash ad, because I'm just going to wash some dishes here for a couple minutes, and I'll be back in about 5.
If you've ever been to Venice, you remember the gondolas and the picturesque waterways. And you remember the food, too. Superb food, prepared with that very special Italian touch. The same special Italian touch that Chef Boyardee sauce with meat can give to your meals over here. Because the recipe for this tangy sauce has been brought over from Italy by this famous Italian chef. Chef Boyardee sauce with meat is made from juicy, sun-ripened tomatoes and tender, quality beef, simmered in a spicy sauce that makes a rice and cheese loaf, a casserole, or a spaghetti dish a real Italian-style dish. So when you'd like to add that special Italian touch to your dinner, do it with Chef Boyardee sauce with meat. Try Chef Boyardee sauce with mushrooms, too. Both are prepared from the chef's own Italian recipe.
Next week, George and Gracie will be brought to you by Carnation.
Hiya, happy boy. Wish you'd been with me today. We saw a great dog show, some beautiful dogs. There was the handsomest poodle, a real beauty, an international champion. His owner gave me some good advice.
There are many dog foods on the market, but the Carnation Company makes the best. It's called Friskies, and it's quality all the way through.
You should have seen the champion collie. He won everything in sight. The handler told me.
A very important part of this champion's diet is meat. That's why we feed him Friskies. The principal ingredient is lean red horse meat, the best you can buy.
So happy, you're getting real quality, and you're going to get your Friskies right now.
Friskies is prepared to the high standards of Carnation Company and guarantees prime-grade nourishment.
Schmidt's Blue Ribbon Bread gives you 7 ounces of non-fat milk solids in every loaf, the equal of 90 quarts a year if you serve it regularly. Every sandwich you make, every snack, gives you extra milk. For wonderful flavor combined with sound food values, serve Schmidt's Blue Ribbon Bread in the pantry pack.
Folks, why do you eat Wheaties?
We like it.
But did you know it's always been whole wheat with all the bran, and bran is one of nature's best sources of food fiber.
That's news to us.
Wheaties breakfast this morning?
Sure, it helps me feel fit.
But do you know Wheaties has bran fiber your body may need?
That's news to me.
Why Wheaties?
Oh, we love the taste.
I have for years. But do you know for years you've been getting something extra for your diet? Bran fiber?
Well, that's news to me.
Wheaties. It's brand news.
What? Keeping the coffee in the icebox?
Yes, Mr. Jones, it's a new kind of coffee, roasted by a new secret process. Hence, this new none such coffee has a different flavor, a flavor preserved by vacuum packing, the flavor retained by refrigeration after the jar has been opened. Just taste it. You can't miss that delicate aroma, that clean, mellow taste. Yes, in cooking, the way to a man's heart is most of all through the coffee pot. In every jar, you'll find 3 special pointers, valuable in all methods of making coffee. Try new none such coffee now. Use half the jar. If not 100% satisfied, get all your money back from your grocer without argument. Special for movie week, only 28 cents a pound, plus 3 cents refundable deposit on the jar.
All right, we're back here. Got our beans simmering with our pork stock and hock. We got garlic and onion done on the stove, or on the cutting board. Words, Jason, words. And we're gonna pull out the cornbread now. Take a look at that. What did I do with my trivet? I put away. Looking nice there. A little curious. Maybe want to go a little bit longer here, get a little bit more color. Yeah, I think I'm going to go a little bit longer with this. Get another 2 minutes or so. 3 minutes. 4 minutes. Who knows? I knocked out all the dishes here during the ads. Next on the docket is spinach. I'll use those tonight too. I don't know how much it looks on camera. My whole house is still smoky. So this is unclean spinach, which, if you guys are not familiar with using spinach at home much, spinach is notoriously dirty. It's often grown in like sandy soil, loose soil that very easily blows around. It gets collected and sticks to the wet leaves, and so it's then not very gotten off easily until you get home. They've improved that a lot, and if you're buying like those bubble packs, those are usually pretty clean. But if you're buying them in a bunch like this, you're most likely going to need to clean them pretty well. So I'm just going to save myself of cleaning all of it by destemming it first. Throw that straight into a colander to wash it out after. Leaving the stems in the leaves because I'm going to just sort of saute this tonight. So I'm going to keep the leaf sort of whole. It is going to leave it a little bit, that's not spinach, bit more texture. If you want your spinach to be all sort of like, if you're doing like cream spinach or something like that, you want it all the same, you can pull the stems out by just doing one of those maneuvers, and usually most of it will pull out with it. But I'm not bothering, I'm just breaking off the bottoms. Got my new storage rack. My house is nothing but storage racks. I mean, seriously. But, so that's probably part of my project for tomorrow. Actually, that'll probably be my project, my daily active project. Around the house to fix things up and keep things nice. I'm doing this incredibly slow, but we're just sort of hanging out, waiting for that cornbread to finish cooking. It's probably been 4 minutes now. 3 minutes, 4 minutes. You can see I'm keeping track of the time on it really close there. Let's take a look at it. I was hoping for a little bit more color on top, and most certainly a little bit more color on the sides. We're going to throw that back in there. But as I said, with the soil, you can see right there, it's just coating that leaf. And this leaf's completely coated in soil. That one's coated in soil. This is all gonna saute down to like a eighth of its current size. It's gonna be like a plate and a half of, maybe like 2 servings in my mind. Spinach is sort of one of those greens that I've always not really sort of minded. It's never really been like, oh, I love spinach, but of the greens, it's up there. And I don't really match it with a lot of other greens. It's almost got a completely different flavor to it. Hey, Tinnerim. Welcome in. Hopefully you're having a lovely New Year. I cook on stream here 3 nights a week. Although, since it's the beginning of the year, I'm planning on streaming all this next week. You got upcoming dates and all that goodness. You got something, I think, in with all of that. So I'm just going to avoid most of that. I've been doing it for quite a while, even though now I'm sort of retired from doing it. Sort of. I don't claim to be any master expert at anything, especially since I can't remember anything. And that's all just going to compost. Give my hands a quick wash up. And a Happy New Year to you as well. And if you're just coming in here in the back pan there, or the main screen there, I got heirloom European soldier beans, which are a white bean with some brown spotting, along with a hock off a pig that I butchered on stream earlier this year. Earlier this year, not earlier today. Making sure we get all this spinach well tossed and well cleaned, using the sort of spray jet thingy to try and get a little pressure behind it and get those leaves a little bit cleaner. Toss them in the pot here real quick, because I don't think I'm getting enough coverage in that smaller. Am I going to use any of the cilantro tonight? We can throw that in a couple things tonight. I don't really have plans for the cilantro from here on. That was for Cricket Tacos on Wednesday, which also for anyone new in tonight, on Wednesdays I do ingredient challenges. I hold weekly votes in the Discord, and you can vote for this week's either, let's see, it's KFC's Extra Crispy Chicken, or I'm spacing on the other one, ramen, in which I've promised to use both the noodles and the broth, I think. And I'll have to use those both for savory and sweet things for dinner on next Wednesday, on the 6th. So that's coming up here. And if you have your own suggestions, you can add them to the ingredient suggestions channel in the Discord. And maybe we'll get them if we get enough votes. So, back to making sure all the spinach is well soaked and as dirt-free as possible, especially since there was so much dirt in with this. I mean, there was like a mud ball in the center of this thing. Bring that over here, just drain and hang out. We will slice up our green onions. Already trying to regrow. Ditch the ends of those. And I don't know what I really want to use these for. I can just throw them in with the beans a little bit later. Same thing with the cilantro here. Why did I grab this huge thing for that? The beans and the leftovers from this dinner are going to be used for the cottage pie, or at least part of that. Gonna have to do something else for like a protein with that, and then gonna coat that with mashed potatoes. I've worked as a chef in several places, yes. I've done all sorts of stuff. Got a little bit of a bio in the About section. But again, more of a generalist than a specialist. I've been in all sorts of kitchens. I've opened up 3 different places now. One of them successfully. I ran my own food truck. Well, it's not a food truck as you're going to think of it when I say food truck. I own a 20-foot mobile kitchen that for about the last 5 years I've been going to farmers markets and making products based off what the farmers are bringing to market. So like soups, stocks, prepared salsa, tomato sauce. But the expenses of running that, it just doesn't make sense. It's too small of an operation with too many overhead costs. As I've said before, I can maybe make it work if I could get a situation where it was a bunch of employees at larger markets, which there's only a couple that are larger than the ones I was doing as it is. So, and it's California. Anyways, battle. What? Is going on here, stream readers? My stream reader is broke again. Thank you for that follow, Tanner. I have no idea what's going on there. And it was taking up a ton of memory. And now it's not opening back up right. That's not what I want either. Is that what I want here? Yeah, let's try doing that. And of course it doesn't work the first time. There we go. So I'm trying to reinstall Stream Raiders here if you guys aren't catching along to what's going on here. So I think we're good with our cornbread now. But I completely forgot it in the oven there, but it still didn't do much to it because the oven is off. But we got a nice golden color there on the top of that. I think that's going to be nice. I think I might just serve that straight out of the pan just like that. My CPU use is going pretty high here. And again, it's not doing anything. Or rather, it's... It's hard to do. It's got to be like pixel perfect, I think. It's showing me basically an empty box here. Like it's not loading right. It's so weird. And I can't play it with the game like that either. Won't close. Gonna have to go into Task Manager to close it again now too. I might have to run this Let's see, I don't have a web set up, I don't think. Do I have a web set up? Nope, I don't have one. So we'll switch to Discord. The Discord there, you can see KFC versus Ramen there. I will give anyone permissions after the stream. The bot hasn't been giving people permissions to start off. I apologize for that. There we go. Does that look better on OBS? No. Come on, dude. You can do it. You can do it. All that work for that. Victory. You guys, moral gold there. Congrats, Excelsior. Four in a row, they giving me scrolls and gold. They just pumping me full of gold here with this. I'm going to start over on this side again. Again, I think these, I'm not 100% sure, but I think these are going to at least slow you down from going through any of these sections, so I figured this is probably the quickest route around and get to these guys, and this guy will probably find us. Alright. Back to the board here. And I'm just going to chop the tops of this cilantro off at this point. I'm going to throw this in with the beans. I'm not going to be worried about the little bit of stems we're going to get here. I do like removing the stems if it's going in like salsa or something like that. Not a big fan of the salsas where you just quick throw them in a food processor. And I'm just going to put that with the green onion. We'll throw all that in there towards the end with the beans. We'll toss those. With the cornbread over here. you guys the close up over here on that. Actually, I should give you a close up on the main screen because main camera has the best color. So there's our cornbread. I'm going to continue to let that cool in the pan. Since the pan's going to have residual heat, it's going to help build that crust a little bit more. And spinach, I'm just going to leave it large leaf like this and saute it like this. So I think rice is next up here. I am going to turn this hawk here, since it's only halfway into the bean stock and all that goodness. And I'm going to turn that up a bit, so we're a little bit into a boil. I'm just going to do some basmati rice. Happy New Year, Nan Reader. How was your holiday? Knob in my drawer here is coming loose. Tighten that back down here. Just gonna do a cup of rice. I mean, do I really need more than a cup of rice? Actually, no, I lied. I'm gonna do a cup and a half of rice here. Because that's gonna be the perfect amount for that bag of stock that I got there. So this is chicken stock. Which is actually sort of unlucky, I believe, for New Year's. So maybe one thing sort of bucking the trend here. I believe, at least in Chinese culture, because they peck and scratch the ground, they scratch backwards, and so that's seen as going backwards and unlucky in that sense, I guess. I'll turn that on a full high flame. Actually, I lied. I'm going to turn it down slightly because the burner's a little large for the pan, but about as high as a flame that I think works well for that pan. Oh, we're still using the spinach. So we're just sort of hanging out here for a little bit. We gotta, let's see if we can't turn that cornbread upside down. Give you guys a look at that. So like I said, I'm just gonna cheat by putting the plate on there. And then quick flip, and it didn't fall. Yeah, it's stuck in there pretty good. So we're just going to leave it in there. Allow it to continue to cool because I don't want to cut it yet. I was willing to take it out of the pan, but I guess we can start on our sauteing our onion and garlic. We're working on the other stuff there. Move that back there, that small little flame back there, in hopes that'll keep it bubbling. And I think I'm going to use the top to saute the rest of this, since we got the large cast iron filled with the cornbread. High flame. Want a decent amount of oil. More than I normally would for cooking this garlic and onion, because I also want it to toss with all this loveliness too. So planning a little bit extra oil there than I normally would. And I don't know why I'm really cooking this yet, because we got a while longer to go with our beans and rice here still. Still waiting for our rice to come up to a boil here. How's our butter? Our butter is nice and soft. Let's make our honey butter. Butter's probably great for this bowl. And a little salt. Unsalted butter, unsalted honey. Yum, 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 yum. Wow, that looks pretty washed out on main cam there. There's our honey butter. We got our rice boiling back here. Gonna turn the heat off on that and let that hang out. I think it's time for some water for me. Do a little of this tonight. About halfway there with our new battle. Let's see if I can't open the program now. Nope, of course not. Stream Raiders is just not doing great with their streamer program here lately. I don't know if that's going to continue or what, but guess we'll do it from the web browser here otherwise. Got about 11 units on the field right now. Gonna add a bit more salt to our beans back here too. I added some salt when I put the hock in there, but that was mostly for the hock really. So can do a little of that action. Can do a little MSG action. And add some other spices here. I already got the pork stock in there, so we got pretty good basis of flavor. You can throw some red pepper in there. We'll save that for with our spinach too. And hit this with a little cayenne as well. Little shake of Old Bay. And some garlic powder. Chonky. a decent amount of garlic here too. Anything that I'm missing that I can throw in there? Yeah, let's throw a little pinch of cumin. Little pinch. Quarter teaspoon there. See how our beans are doing here. How much longer they're going to have to cook. Oh, he needs another minute. Wow. That broth, though. Those beans are going to need another, probably at least 30 minutes here. But I give you permissions in the Discord. Thank you for that follow, Little Bear Produce. Are you guys a small farm? That sounds like a small farm name to me. Or maybe not small, but... Okay, so certainly not tiny, but I would still think that's not on the big size for large-scale commercial. But yeah, that's a lot of land. Throw this out, I'll be right back. Glad to have you. Working on all the good luck foods tonight. We got our beans, our heirloom European soldier beans with pork hock or ham hock and pork stock, and I just threw a bunch of spice in there. We got some rice with some chicken stock in there. We got spinach ready to go when everything else is ready, and we got cornbread, which is just cooling down and almost ready to be sliced. But we gotta wait a little bit longer on those beans. We got about 30 minutes to wait on those beans. Wait, what was that? I missed something there. I missed what it was there, Buddha, but thank you very much. I appreciate it. For me, Phil? Well, I typically tell people, I'm sort of half stealing this answer though, but you go ahead and create the transporter, put my name on that patent with you, I'll cook you whatever you want. Stay. Got a spare recycling bag going over there. I need to take it out. Honey butter. Work a knife around the edge of the cornbread here to see if that's what was keeping it stuck here. We'll try and do the plate one more time here. I don't think it's gonna... Nah, I'm not even gonna try it. I don't think it's gonna flop out for me. And let's do it with the proper knife here. Don't think this cornbread came out as good as my last batch. My last batch was gorgeous. This is still looking pretty damn good. Yeah. That crust. I think I still agree with my statement before. I nailed that crust on that first batch that I made around this time last year. It might have actually been for this last year. Nonetheless, I am happy with that. Oh, come on, work with me, butter. Butter wants to be complicated. Pictures, as always, will be on Instagram and Discord, and a couple of them will go on Twitter. Hey, car guy. When's your birthday? Nice, nice. Yeah, I'm actually streaming all this next week. My only real thing for this next year is I want to try and stream more than I did in 2020, which means I'm going to have to stream more than 3 days a week. And so I'm starting off with a solid week here, and I'm going to have to probably do some more solid week stuff if I ever hope to do any vacations or anything, because I went solid through 2020. The 22nd and the 23rd. Oh, now the pressure's on to make the 22nd a good stream. What do we got planned? I don't even remember. Come on, Twitch, work for me. I know you've been broke all day, but please work for me. National Southern, oh, that should be a good night. I don't know, I'm sort of thinking like more greens, maybe some fried chicken. Yeah, I like Southern food. Though I have been looking for a reason to make some jambalaya too. Jackrabbit. You'll also notice there's a new command in the title of the stream there, guys. But that's just for what I've been saying before. Gonna be doing $25 giveaway when we get to 500 subs. So let's do our battle here. Oops, we're going to Discord, not that. There we go. Sorry to hear about your uncle. Hopefully that wasn't too recent. You got all the rogues trying to go in the back door. Thank you for the bits. Metro with the scrolls. Suki with the kills and the assists. Another victory. Let's see, we go to the top or the bottom here. I think we should go for the castles again. Alright, looks like there's a toad in both of them. We'll start with that. Give me one moment here, folks. There we go. Okay. So we got our cornbread chilling out here. We'll let that hang out back here. Actually, we're gonna wait for later. We've got our rice ready to go back here. Let's take a look at that. Maybe a little too much liquid there. It's looking a little over hydrated. But I didn't add any salt or anything earlier, so we'll hit this up with a bit of salt, a bit of MSG. I just like adding more salt. Some black pepper. Don't think that's it. Get a second stir up here. We'll throw that down in the warm oven to stay warm. See how our beans are looking here. Give our hawk another turn here. Beans, without question, will be better tomorrow than the next day, or than today. And they will be even better when we use them for that cottage pie. So, yeah. Using heirloom European soldier beans, which are a white bean with some brown spotting. Actually very similar to the black eyed pea, but brown and not black. Chocolate Anything Day ended up being a Discord day, so I didn't really honor it. Or a Discord vote day. I forget what it was that it lined up with, but I don't think I added any chocolate in there. You did miss the cricket stream on Wednesday. That was a pretty good one. Oh no, I didn't do what I'm saying, car guy, is I didn't do chocolate covered anything that day because I had a Discord vote ingredient challenge day that I had to fulfill. Let me look. I can figure out what that was. Let's see, 16th. That was actually probably this. No, that was the 23rd. So actually it's after 8 dinner meat, which I did on the 20th because it was late. And so this was what I probably did on the short ribs. That or these guys. What is which one? I can't line up with. I'm probably gonna do something similar to this though. Last time I did it, we'll do another marshmallow cream. I won't have the candy to throw in there, but I think I'm gonna do a little bit more of a chocolate. Maybe we'll do a Mexican chocolate for hot chocolate. Which, if you guys aren't familiar, believe it's Burra Mexican chocolate you can find in most international supermarket sections in international stuff. Mexican chocolate actually has a different flavor profile from what you guys are probably familiar with chocolate. It's got an almost like cinnamon flavor to it. But also, Car Guy, here next Wednesday, we're going to have to be doing our next Discord vote, which is going to be between KFC Extra Crispy Chicken, which I'll have to use as an ingredient. I won't just be eating KFC chicken. And I'll have to use it for an ingredient for both dinner and dessert. And it's either KFC chicken, Extra Crispy Chicken, or ramen, where I'll have to use the ramen noodles and ramen broth, both for dinner and dessert. Ramen for dessert. But, so that's what's coming up here on Wednesday. But, between now and then, I'm streaming every night. And then some. Gonna be doing all sorts of things here in the next week, which is all down in that About section. I guess I can pull that up too for you guys. We got crickets as an ingredient. That was Wednesday. Tonight we're not doing black-eyed peas, but we're doing beans, spinach, hock, rice, and cornbread. We got fresh pasta with shrimp. I've got frozen shrimp, and I'm going to make a pepper sauce for tomorrow night. Going to do a cottage pie with the leftover beans, some sort of meat for that. Hock is the very bottom part of the leg. It doesn't include the foot, but just about everything but the foot. You can have hocks from just about any animal. Yeah, we have spaghetti again. I did spaghetti somewhat recently, but love spaghetti, so why not do that again? I have an appointment on the 5th, so I'm probably going to be a little bit of a late start, but I'm going to do a quick soup and sandwich stream to keep the whole week theme going. We have our ingredient challenge, like I said earlier, either ramen or extra crispy KFC chicken. National Tempura Day. We'll be frying some stuff up. I've been craving doing mushrooms again. Last year I did maitakes and oysters, and I tempura fried them. They were amazing. Gonna definitely have to do that again this year. That'll probably be here on the 7th. Fried rice, a good refrigerator clean out dish there. I've been doing meat pies a couple of times. Gonna try and do a little bit more authentic this time. Yeah, with some peas and mash to go with it, of course. We'll have another ingredient challenge, and then we're switching back to my normal schedule. And we'll see how things go. I may do a few more streams in here, who knows. I'm really trying out the everyday or more regular schedule here. So, it seems to work for a number of other streamers, and so we'll see with that. But also coming down later in the month, we've got Hot Buttered Rum Day. That should be a fun night. National Bagel Day. Never tried making bagels, and so I'm going to try making bagels. And actually, the day before that is National Pastrami Day, I believe, the 14th. I think it was pastrami. And so I was thinking of doing a bagel and pastrami sandwich along with making my own fresh bagels for the first time. It sounded like a good night. Southern Food Day for all the birthdays. The 22nd and the 23rd. Lobster Thermidor Day. I threw that down there just because I was astonished that recipe gets a national holiday day. But yeah. Cassoulet for the 29th, which is, I'm going to try and do a smaller version of this. I'm not going to do like a lot of times cassoulet is a big, huge ordeal where it's a long-cooked beans and a whole variety of meats. I'm going to cut down on the variety of meats. We're still going to have a proper cassoulet, and I'm going to cut it down in size. And then National Hot Chocolate Day. What are southern fruit? There are no southern food. Like, what did I do with the pot of rice? Oh, it's in the oven. That's what I was saying, car guy. You missed that one. That was Wednesday. I made these brownies, which are now upside down. But these brownies have cricket flour in them. And I made tacos with crickets. I still got a little bit of them around. I don't know why I'm really saving them. Because, yeah, I don't really have a desire to keep cooking with these guys. Oh, this is the flour I made. There was a little flour left over, which is just essentially ground crickets. And there we have crickets, as I bought them, where I bought them from a farm in Portland that is specifically farming them for humans' consumption. And what they do is they raise them until they sprout out their wings, which is their final development stage. And then they freeze them to knock them out or pacify them. They boil them to cook them full through. And then they roast them to dry them out. And so, before I even got my hands on them, they had been killed 3 times. Yeah, I switched all my... When Mixer went down, and after, not even the most recent DMCA stuff, but after the February DMCA stuff, when Mixer died, I decided that I was just going to put all of my past VODs behind a wall, because it's just going to keep any of the bots from searching them. or at least that's my hope. But at the same time, I do try to keep, all the videos that I'm using for my intros and the AFK screen are all part of a package of videos owned by the Smithsonian and are free for public use. I have gotten into a few snafus, words. Actually, I think that one's an abbreviation, but anyways, on YouTube, I've gotten flagged a couple of times with it because some of the music in them is still copyrighted, even though the videos are free in public use. Oh, thank you, Entropy. Appreciate you gifting that sub to regular Car Guy.
Entropy 355 gifted a tier 1 sub to Car Guy 1822. This is their first gift sub in the channel.
Appreciate that, Entropy. So I think I might skip the Hawk actually tonight and give that, well, let's cut that up. Let's do that tonight. Our boiled Hawk here. Which this was not a... Since I just cut this raw off of the pig, many times when you buy your hocks from the supermarket or from the butcher, they're going to be smoked or cured and smoked. This guy is just a hawk. Usually it just wants to pull right away here, but... Yeah. I've been digging a lot of the end of 2020 emotes that Twitch has. A lot of them have been pretty good. It's like all cartilage. So if you've dealt with like something with a ton of cartilage in it, it's like very sticky. It's the best way I have to describe it. But it doesn't, just sort of clings. You can feel it in the mouthfeel when you're drinking a really rich stock, but it also matters on your hands here too. There's another bone here that I haven't quite figured out where it's at. It's in this section here. And throw this back in with the beans to continue cooking. Just allow that to cook until it falls apart completely. Sort of doing this a little bit prematurely. This hawk could have cooked a little bit longer. The meat is definitely going to get tender with a little bit more time here. Fat and all. It's all going to be tasty in with those beans. Especially as it renders out. I would say to try and cut against the grain, which is the general idea with most meat. You want to cut against the grain so that it's as tender as possible for when you're chewing on it. There's so many different muscle groups here heading in so many different ways that it's a little bit like you're not going to really, you just chop it up. And we're cooking it until it's going to be fall apart here anyways. Chopping it all up here is going to expedite that process a little bit. Well, now you've got another emote there, car guy. Or actually, you got several emotes there now. But you got my high emote now, too. MSG Love. 2020 emote. The chef logo. .2020 emote's going to be going away here pretty soon, though. It's not 2020 anymore, thankfully. I love the flavor on hawk meat too. I mean, even without it being smoked, like I was saying, a lot of them are. It's just so rich. You got all of that gelatin and all that connective tissue breaking down into gelatin and wonderful flavors. Just so porky. I can actually almost tell when, I mean, there's certain foods that I've bought in the store and I'm like, yeah, that's hawk meat. They're not telling anyone because they think it's not a selling point, but like several of those just reheating the microwavable pouch ones. Pre-cooked meat sort of things. They're sous vide already for you. Several of those, the barbecue ones I've had, they're smoked hawk meat with their name brand barbecue sauce. I'm gonna push all this loveliness back into the beans. And we're gonna have to add some more moisture to this pan, I believe. So I'm going to add a little bit more water in there. Now we got some meat with our beans. We got some open, don't we? Yeah. Oh, those are peas. We're going to leave it with corn. I'm going to throw a little corn in here too, a little frozen corn. That was about half a bag. So about 8 ounces, half pound. And the frozen corn is actually going to add some moisture into the party here. So that's also going to add to how much liquid we got in the pot. It looks a little dry right now. Actually, it is still a little dry. I'm going to add a little bit more water. Tastes like corn. Adds a little sweetness. It's questionably early to add the corn in there, but I wanted to join the party. But we are going to probably overcook the corn. So if you're worried about getting your corn with the perfect inner ear crunch, you typically put that in there a little bit later. Like when we're actually going to add the herbs to this dish. Battle. To battle. "17 of us versus 2 of them. Good luck." Well, they're growing. Eight ball should not be working right now, I don't think. Link mixer account doesn't matter. Grats, Metro, and Suki. Booger Klodge, and Metro with the kills and the assists. Ooh, boss time. Which one do we do, guys? We do the one on the bottom or the one on the top? I'll give you guys a second to give me your thoughts. Bottom? Let's do bottom. Take note of the couple guys up here. Maybe we can throw a bomb up here. And, oh yeah. Let's do, one of those bomb guys around here. Otherwise, you can just line up behind me. It's starting to come back to a boil here. Got a little bit of a simmer going, at least on the hot side of the burner. Give this a 180 turn here, so we get this side heating up. I just got your message here, Buddha. I wasn't quite sure. I sort of know what that is, but I wasn't quite sure why you're sending it to me. If you're still lurking around, it was probably an hour or two since you last said something I saw. What else do we got going on here that we're waiting on? We got our cornbread done. This deliciousness just chilling out here. We got honey butter for that obviously done as well. We're waiting to saute our spinach. We got onions and garlic to go with that. And we're waiting on our beans to cook. We got our European soldier beans. Sort of a creamy bean with a... It's a little darkened from the stock and the pork, but creamy bean with some brown markings on it. They're starting to get there. Still a little too textured for what I want, but flavor is definitely there. I am going to turn this down a little bit now because we don't want them massively boiling. The very high boiling is going to be more likely for you to break the skins and get this, you know. It's sort of nice sometimes to mash some of them in there to thicken things up, but you don't really want the skins breaking on your beans at the same time. I am going to start sauteing stuff for our spinach here. Get that garlic and onion sauteing. And got that for the other pan here. In fact, I'm going to switch the beans over to the secondary burner. Allow that pan to warm up a little bit more. I didn't buy any fruit juice. I normally have some fruit juice around this sort of time, and I'm sort of like, I'm not really feeling water tonight. Definitely not breaking open a bottle of wine tonight. But definitely going to do wine with the cottage pie. That'll be a dinner with wine. I don't know about the rest of them. I haven't really thought that through. I bought the wines as a buy 6 get 10% off. So not only are they $10 wines, they're $9 wines now. Not really, but I did get another port here too, which I don't know if I should really even have that on the wine rack, but got another tawny port. I like the tawny ports. Rubies are nice too, but they're just so much fresher and brighter. I like a nice, rich, complex. I mean, I like the darker, deeper, more exotic flavors of the red wines. So it just sort of fits that I like the super concentrated, almost raisiny ports. And again, I know I have quite a bit of oil in here for just this little bit of onion and garlic, but the idea is here to have a little bit of extra oil here for when we go in with our sauteing our spinach. Add in our onion. And stir that around so all the garlic just doesn't sit in the bottom and burn. We'll hit that with a bit of salt now too. Not just because we want to season it, but because salt's going to help draw out some moisture and help it cook a little bit quicker. Oops. Got some more meat to go back in our beans here. turn the heat down on the beans just a little bit more too. Hey, Lucrum. Welcome back. Been a little while. How you doing? We're doing all good luck foods tonight for dinner, being the first of the year. We're doing, this is going to be spinach eventually. We're doing a sort of slow saute to cook up these garlic and onions. We got beans over here with corn. We got rice chilling in the oven. We got some cornbread here on the stove with honey butter. Nice. How was your holiday trip? Hopefully you got to see some nice people. Not a great year to go traveling, though. You get this moisture off my board. That's good. Yeah, I think in some ways this may have boosted some forms of travel, COVID that is. There was most certainly a boom of RV sales right when it happened, both with people wanting them for isolation, but also for and also cities and governments buying tons of them for the homeless populations and all that. But you also had a ton of people buying RV stuff so they can go and do some sort of recreation as family. And so it seems like I've seen a whole bunch of people doing like RV streams. That may be a little bit with better wireless too, but I think a lot of people decided to make good use of those vehicles sitting in their driveway. Take a moment here and see what's going on in the world as far as Twitch. See if we can't do a little pre-planning on who we can give a raid to a bit later. Making a mess. I'm okay with 5-second ruling that because I just wiped that before the stream started. I also say that because I doubt the average stovetop is wiped down several times a week. Hey, I'm Luck. Welcome back. I hope you have a great night, and thank you for stopping in. Happy New Year. We got multiple mama bears too. Got a nice toast on that garlic. Some of that garlic's looking gorgeous. Nice golden color on some of that. Nice golden color on some of that. It's sort of hard to see because it's the smaller pieces in there, but nice golden color on some of that garlic. I don't know if that focused in time or not. I wasn't able to see it in OBS. Let's give these beans another try and see how long they are. They still got some texture to them. They still got a bite to them. I think I'm going to go with them for tonight, though. They're going to be great tomorrow. After they... I mean, beans, stuffing, stuff like that. This is definitely one of those dishes where that 12, 24 hours after you cook it, allowing it all to have its little party, it gets just better with time. So let's do our spinach here before our lovely toasted garlic looks burnt. Just plop that in there. And carefully try and get it down into the contact on the actual pan. Move those onions out of the way and start stirring it together. As soon as it hits that pan, it's gonna start to wilt. It'll start taking up less and less space here. And as I said, this is gonna be like maybe 2 servings of spinach here once it cooks. We'll hit that with some salt, black pepper, and red pepper flake. See, that just disappeared. And turn the heat off on that. We're going to take that off of the heat entirely. We don't need it to continue to wilt. There we go. Spinach, onions and garlic, didn't disappear. It just wilted down and just, I mean, that was a leaf that was probably more like that before they lose a lot of their strength and stain. So they sort of disappear, but not entirely. Ooh. Don't want to show people that. Going to add our herbs in with our beans. That being, herbs being cilantro and green onion. Both just sort of hanging out. Leftovers from previous projects here. Grab a photo of this. Give ourselves a bowl. Or grab ourselves a bowl. If you guys are wondering why I put my arm back like that, it's because of lighting. So we got that deliciousness. We got this deliciousness. We have this. And we have our rice. Just been chilling down here in the warm oven. Gonna take the heat off on the beans, just let them hang out. Then we have our chicken, our rice with basmati rice. Perhaps overdone there with the rice tonight. Still tasty though. And we'll skip the picture of the rice. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me. Let's see who we can give a raid to tonight. Thank you, Suki. Why don't we go hang out with an art streamer here tonight? I'd like to thank you guys once again for joining me. We're going to go hang out with I Have an Art Degree, who I have seen rating some other friends of mine, and does art streams. And so, I hope you guys enjoy her stream. I'd like to thank you guys for joining me. As I said before, I am streaming every day this week. First 8 days of 2021, I am planning streams, and they're all down in the All About section. So if you guys are curious about any of that, I went through that earlier. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope you have a great night. I hope to see you tomorrow.